You never know. You might be like a broken man in your late 20s. Like,
you think?
I mean, most YouTubers are, so.
He was basically with his underage fans, sending eggplant emojis. They were sending back peach emojis.
19 and 17 isn't illegal. It's only illegal on Twitter.
So recently, Carson has been facing some very serious allegations that he was soliciting pictures from an underage fan of his.
Using his position as a YouTube creator and internet influencer in order to manipulate fans.
This could honestly just be the end of CallMeCarson. Like, this could honestly actually be like a genuine cancellation of CallMeCarson.
At one point in time, Carson was what many considered to be a king of the internet. He had an incredibly loyal, almost cult following, a differentiated public image as a nerdy yet confident introvert, and arguably one of the most solid reputations across the content creation sphere. But only 4 months ago, all of this seemed to change. With the assistance of the drama community, including individuals like Keemstar, Scarce, and almost every commentary channel on YouTube, Carson's content creation journey would come to a halt. Since completely disappearing off the internet 4 months ago, Carson has barely said a word. Where did CallMeCarson go? Why has Carson decided to avoid the drama instead of facing it front on? Do these 4 recently posted updates hint at a return? Or is it simply Carson finding an outlet to troll while remaining out of the public eye? This video will explain every single event leading up to the sudden disappearance of Carson King, so we can ultimately answer the question of what happened to CallMeCarson. Carson King would create his first YouTube channel all the way back in September 2011 at the age of 12 under the name Blue Creepers 1.
Hey guys, it's the Blue Creepers 1.
And considering he's only 21 years of age now, this means that Carson has been on his YouTube journey for almost 50% of his lifetime. Carson explained that his desire to begin making content came from
watching like Pokemon walkthroughs, and I was like, I want to do that.
And that he was almost addicted to the content creation process from the second he began. However, despite this long-lasting channel making Carson an absolute YouTube veteran, he saw little success in the beginning. Carson would upload videos such as Carson's Choice and Minecraft multiplayer adventures.
Yo, what's up guys? I'm playing a little Minecraft again.
But due to his young age, the poor quality and lack of story within the videos, they wouldn't even touch the surface on the YouTube algorithm. And Carson would remain as a barely recognizable prepubescent teen with a following of less than 50 subscribers. But despite the lack of following, Carson enjoyed making the content and always seemed to have that vision for being YouTube famous despite his young age.
I already loved the idea of being a big YouTuber,
Right.
but I was a f***ing child.
And perhaps with the assistance of his early obliviosity, Carson would do something bizarre. He'd create 3 similar but separate channels to make videos on. Blue Creepers 1, as previously mentioned, Gamercraft 157, and Icebox Carson, spreading regular content across all 3.
Guys, what's up? Carson here. Back with the Minecraft challenge.
Throughout 2011 and 2012, Carson would upload more than 130 videos across these 3 channels, once again signaling his love for the content creation process from a young age. However, despite clearly enjoying the idea of being a YouTuber, none of these channels really did much for him, as most of the videos on these channels still have less than 50 views to this day. But the lack of success ended up being a positive for Carson, as it perhaps indicated to him that it was time to ditch all 3 channels and focus on a new singular channel that he could invest all of his energy into. For this reason, on his 13th birthday, the 10th of May 2012, Carson King would create the channel that would eventually become the famous CallMeCarson channel that we know of today. The official CallMeCarson channel, or Blue Crew Pros as it was known in the beginning, was pretty similar to the previous channels in terms of performance. Carson's young age and fairly horrible video making skills repelled a potentially loyal audience. But this would begin to change slightly in 2013 at the age of 14, when Carson would upload a video titled Mine of Duty Summit Trailer. This video has since been privated, but would gain him 100,000 views and provide the channel with its first bit of subscriber growth, also possibly signifying to Carson that continuing the uploads would be worthwhile, and with perseverance and consistency, something might eventually become of this channel. But if Carson was going to continue the uploads, it only made sense that he wanted to put a face to the name. So he would go ahead and reveal his face to the audience in a video appropriately titled Face Reveal.
Hi, How are you?
Now, having a face attached to the CallMeCarson channel was extremely useful for identifying the owner, but it did little for him in the way of growth. Throughout 2014 and 2015, Carson had some semi-viral videos such as a now deleted Butter song dedicated to Sky Does Minecraft, but by March 2016, almost 5 years after starting his YouTube journey, Carson had barely cracked the 4,000 subscriber mark. The videos he was posting were self-described as
Those videos were so they were so unbelievably bad.
And therefore this kind of low-level growth would continue into 2017, then 2018, gaining at a rate of around 200 per month. After 7 years of making content, Carson was still unable to gain more than 1,000 subscribers in a month, but Carson didn't care that he was gaining less than 1,000 subscribers a month. He instead valued the growth in comparison to 2011 when he was gaining 0 subscribers a month. Carson just continued to push through the mud, and in May 2018, the CallMeCarson channel would finally get its big break.
You guys like Garfield?
Oh, I love Garfield. Show me some Garfield. I don't like Garfield all that much.
Oh my.
On the 11th of May 2018, Carson would upload a video to his channel titled DeviantArt is not safe.
Powers/abilities. Pete Bizon. Street.
She's not an alien.
She's an alien.
The video was done in a somewhat similar style to many other rising internet review videos which were being popularized at the time, and as a result performed in somewhat of a similar manner. Only 2 months after the video had been posted, it had added a total of 1.25 million views to the CallMeCarson channel, which was more than the channel's combined total views from the 6 years worth of previously posted content. On top of this, Carson would gain 35,000 subscribers from the video, and Carson had officially gone from a nothing to a small YouTuber. However, Carson wouldn't stay as a small YouTuber for long, because he was about to post a video for his 35,000 subscribers that would quintuple his total count once again.
How's it going, Don Cheadle?
Hey, Don Cheadle, how's it going?
I'm doing pretty okay.
Oh, hey, Don Cheadle.
Hey, Don Cheadle. How are you today?
Oh no, 3 Don Cheetos.
Oh,
hi, I'm Don Cheadle.
Hey, how's it going, Don Cheadle?
Oh, hey, Don Cheadle.
Hi, I'm Don Cheadle.
How's it going?
After seeing the success of his DeviantArt is not safe video, Carson would go on to upload a video titled Invading Discord Servers, and to say that this video was hilarious would be an absolute understatement.
Watch out, gamer, I'm close to leveling up and you look like just enough XP.
The hilarious nature of this video caused Carson to gain a whopping 158,000 further subscribers in July 2018, only 2 months after he would gain his first bit of traction, ultimately revealing 2 main things to Carson. Firstly, that his videos were finally of high enough quality to maintain an audience, and secondly, that he should continue to pump out videos with a similar style and premise. Carson would go on to do so.
What is this, kid?
Where's my super suit?
And by March 2019, only 9 months after initially blowing up, Carson will pass 1 million subscribers, which was accompanied by a video celebrating the milestone.
Thank you guys all for 1 million subscribers. This has been my dream since I was about 11, so I really can't overstate how joyful I am about this.
Carson's YouTube channel and Twitch streams would continue to grow throughout 2019, to the point where he would even announce that Carson and some of his YouTube friends would be hosting a podcast titled Unzipped.
Here's the plug.
The plug! It's coming! Go subscribe to the Unzipped podcast down below. We are going to upload podcasts weekly.
Each of these elements led to an incredibly successful 2019 for Carson, to the point where he would state that he couldn't even leave his house without being recognized in public. However, despite Carson saying that constantly getting recognized in public was one of his goals,
sooner or later you will start getting recognized out in public. Like, I swear I know you from somewhere.
That's the goal.
And then, I mean, is it?
It would be in 2020 that Carson's fame would begin to turn into somewhat of a burden for him.
Am I cute?
Are you cute? Yeah, you're cute.
Oh, thank you.
You're welcome.
Carson had begun to date popular Twitch streamer Katarino in late 2019, early 2020, and in the beginning everything seemed to be going well.
Do you think I have Disney princess eyes?
You have very pretty eyes.
However, many people who barely even know who Carson is are aware that this relationship would go on to end in somewhat of a catastrophe. In March 2020, after dating for approximately 3 months, it would be revealed that Katarino had been hiding some skeletons in the closet that she had been keeping from both Carson and her audience.
Carson gave her everything, and then she goes and cheats on him with Fritz.
Crazily enough, Katerina was actually in another relationship at the time while dating Carson, and had also been cheating on each of her partners with a long list of other confirmed and unconfirmed content creators, one of which being Fitz, who Carson was good friends with.
You know, I have apologized and explained myself to Carson privately behind the scenes, and things have sort of been...
As the information was spilled out into the world publicly, Carson would make a tweet stating that he was taking a break indefinitely. This has been a difficult decision, but after considering some recent personal events and my own mental health, I've decided I need a moment to step away, going to focus on making myself a better person. Thank you for the support. Katerina would then post what you might call a classic YouTuber apology, stating that she was in the wrong and that she was sorry for cheating on Carson.
I still let him on and ended up hurting Carson and my boyfriend at the time very badly in the process.
Which resulted in a hilarious ratio of 565,000 dislikes to 17,000 likes, showing that the audience most certainly saw Katerina as the perpetrator and Carson as the victim. Throughout his time off, Carson would continue to make random hilarious tweets in true Carson style, such as, well, at least I have 8 ball, increasing his notoriety once again. But after 1 month, it seemed as though Carson had got tired of doing nothing, would make a statement about the event and return to creating content.
I've missed this, by the way. I've missed being on this site. Anyways, it's been a minute, and I'm glad to be back in the saddle, I think.
Generally speaking, to be involved in drama often ends up in a loss of reputation for the YouTubers involved. However, since Katerina was the one who did the cheating, the event as a whole would be incredibly beneficial for Carson's reputation and growth. Despite being completely inactive for the month of March, Carson would gain 180,000 subscribers and 17 million views, resulting in the second most successful month ever in the history of his YouTube channel, despite the fact that he wasn't even posting videos. And when compared to Katerina, who would lose more than 30,000 subscribers from the event, it's safe to say that Carson would come out as the victor in this episode of YouTube drama. Carson's increased notoriety stemming from the drama would lead to further viewers, followers, and subscribers on both YouTube and Twitch. And with the cheating scandal now in the rearview mirror, it seemed like Carson was ready to take over the world. However, within less than a year, Carson would find himself embroiled in yet another controversy, ultimately leading to his disappearance from the internet.
But this is a very important story. Today we are going to be talking about one of the most beloved Minecraft YouTubers known as Carson.
On the 5th of January 2021, YouTubers Travis and Hugbox, who are part of Carson's Lunch Club group, would come forward and explain to Keemstar that Carson had been texting a 17-year-old girl in 2019. Carson had admitted to this via Discord, so the proof was certainly there, and Carson was unable to refute the reality of what was happening to him. Other members who were also part of the Lunch Club, such as Jay Schlatt, would post a video explaining that he had been aware of the situation for some time.
He explained that he had exchanged photos with the 17-year-old while he was 19, and that he was done with it. He hadn't done it in months. He was ashamed of what he had done.
And that he was unimpressed with Carson's actions. Carson would lose a massive 270,000 subscribers following the release of the information, which was approximately 10% of his subscribed fan base. After making a tweet on the day before the release of the allegation stating, "If you spell your name wrong on an IQ test, does your score get knocked down?" Carson would go ghost on all social media and hasn't been heard from besides a few recent appearances, which will be discussed in just a minute. The most unimpressive part about the whole drama was simply how Carson dealt with it, or you might say how he didn't deal with it.
You know, since the drama, he hasn't said anything. He hasn't made any public statements, any apologies, literally anything. He just went dark and left the platform.
Carson just went completely silent and didn't even put any effort into saving his image. Now, it's not like Carson should have come on and tried to convince his audience that he wasn't in the wrong, but Carson had an extremely loyal audience who supported him through the thick and thin, and if he'd just been a little honest, stated that what he did was wrong, he'd learned from his mistakes, then continued to upload videos, depending on how he executed it, there's a reasonable chance that his audience might have moved on, because it's not like what he did was something that he couldn't come back from. Sure, what he did certainly wasn't commendable, but it's not like he did a full-blown EDP and got caught in 4K attempting to meet up with a 13-year-old. We talked about this in the video discussing how Logan Paul saved his reputation after the Japanese forest video. Give it a little bit of time, acknowledge it happened, then frame the whole scenario as a stupid mistake and not such a big deal.
Delete Logan Paul's YouTube channel, check it out. 533,029 have signed. Well, I'm gonna make sure this gets to 533,030 right now because I'm signing it. Because, Logan Paul, right?
But for Carson, he perfected the part where he gave it a little bit of time, but instead of coming back and framing it as a, yeah, whatever, it was just a stupid mistake, he clearly let the whole thing consume him to the point where a successful return is becoming less and less likely. However, I could be completely wrong, as from numerous comments on Carson's videos, it actually seems as though his fans are almost yearning for his return, and perhaps many have forgiven him after a bit of time has passed, best summed up by this comment. It says a lot about Carson that after he got cancelled, the comments of his last video are mostly about fond memories and hoping he gets better instead of hating him. And perhaps Carson has noticed this, because over the last month, he has lightly resurfaced across a few social media platforms. And while we're trying to avoid a full-blown commentary channel clickbait situation here of Carson is back, there are 4 main pieces of compelling recent evidence that hint at a possible return. The first sign that Carson is still alive and well was during a stream of Ludwig's on the 5th of April 2021. On the stream, Ludwig was playing a video involving Carson.
Carson first, Carson? Pag chomp.
And Carson actually texted Ludwig to request that he stop playing it.
You want to know who told me that the Carson video is playing? Carson. Send me a text.
However, Carson would then go silent for another 3.5 weeks, up until the 29th of April 2021, at which point he would post the following video to his Instagram story.
That seems about right.
Carson would leave the video up for approximately 8 minutes before removing it again, an action that made many of his fans question whether or not the video was posted accidentally. He deleted this 5 minutes after he posted it. Do you all think this was an accident or meaning something? However, the more likely reality is that Carson was testing the waters with how his fan base might react to a potential reappearance, which is also backed up by another act relating to him testing the waters, and that's his Steam profile changes. Over the last month, Carson has changed his Steam profile name from Happy Easter to Fart World Road Trip, the CEO of the world, a message from Carson, long sandwich, and most recently, Balls Man 2, which thankfully shows us that Carson is still somewhat active and has maintained his sense of humor throughout the rough period. The final piece of evidence for where Carson is at the moment comes from Twitch streamer Connor Eats Pants, who stated on a stream from early May 2021 that Carson has been seeing a therapist and seems to be getting the help that he needs.
Yeah, I've been in contact. Not too much, but I do know that he's in therapy and he's getting help, so that's what's good.
A much needed message for the many fans wishing for Carson's return. What happened to CallMeCarson? Well, the answer to this question seems to be somewhat obvious. He clearly took a break to deal with the drama associated with his scandal in early 2021. But the more important question that everyone wants to know the answer to is that, will we be seeing a return from CallMeCarson? Well, the answer to this question can only be determined by the man himself. However, much of the evidence seems to hint that Carson is on his way back to creating content. Sure, there's nothing that's rock solid, but 4 pieces of information in the space of a few weeks, as opposed to a few months of silence previously, show that he's certainly wriggling his toes once again, and we might be seeing a return of CallMeCarson in the near future.